Hey everybody, this is PATICE Live and I'm hanging out with my girl Jazzy Mango on Red Carpet Lounge. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at Patrice_live. And all these other niggas shoot the shot, but you ain't having it. Girl, you jazzy. And I love you to the moon and back, baby, girl, you jazzy. You everything a man could ever want, girl, you jazzy. You not about that drama, you loyal and classy, you jazzy.
Cause I believe I'm the best at this. You're a lady. My love is yours all of the time. You need a break, that ain't a crime. Won't you come on in and sit on down? Let me give you what you need now.
I can give you what you need, boy.
Whatever you need,
I can give you what you need, boy.
I got what you need.
I can give you what you need.
Hey guys, this is your girl Jazzy Mango and thank you for tuning into the Jazzy Mango Red Carpet Lounge. I'm sitting here chilling with my homegirl, Miss Patrice, in the building. How are you doing, Miss Beautiful?
I am doing well. Thank you so much for finally having me.
I know we've been trying. I know you've been super busy.
Yeah.
You've been traveling. Like everything's been going on. How you been?
Good. Super busy, but busy is good. So I've been very good and I'm excited to slow down a little bit, but slowing down for me is probably still like 100 for most people, so yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, when did you first start getting into the business?
Well, I've been singing since I was very little. I have a family full of singers, so that's not new. The business itself, I dabbled in it when I was younger. I did stuff like pageants and talent shows, and then I got like signed with a small label when I was like 15. So I always dabbled in it, but in terms of just really taking the craft and the business to a different level was like maybe about 5 years ago. Yeah.
Okay, so now when you say you got signed, like what were like some trials with that? Like was it marketing or was just a bad investment with that?
Well, getting signed was cool because it allowed me to meet, a lot of up and coming. I mean, at that time I had met and was working on some records with Rich Harrison, who at the time he hadn't really done anything, but later on, like he worked obviously with A. Marie, he did Crazy in Love by Beyonce. So I've had the experience of working with people even before they got to the next level of their career. So it was a good thing. But the problem at that time was just, it was hard. They didn't know what to do with me. I was too young to, really be like a teeny bop, kind of person, but I was old enough but I wasn't old enough to do sexy music as well. So it was kind of a challenge for them from a marketing perspective. And, things happen, life happens. But I think, honestly, no matter what, everything happens for a reason. As a person, I wouldn't have been ready at that time.
So taking a step back from that, and you're 15 years old, you're meeting all these up and coming, entertainers and stuff like that, and then you take a step back from that. Did you go back to school? Were you able to finish high school, college?
Yeah, so I never stopped high school, so I was still in it. So I finished. Then I took a little bit of time off to really pursue. I lived in New York for a little while. I went to college in New York for a minute. So I tried to do everything. I tried, to go to New York and go on auditions. I tried to, record songs and be a background singer. I tried everything, but that was a good thing because I learned so many different pieces of the business and, how other people sustain and make money. And so I then stepped back and then went back to school, like you said. Even started a family, but it was like an itch, like it just wouldn't go away. And it's funny because I actually prayed at certain points, like for the desire to be, an entertainer. I prayed for it to go away because it was painful. I wanted to do it, but I didn't know how. And, I felt like I couldn't because of where my life was at that time. It's not ideal for a person with children or whatever to pursue a career. And then one day I just said, forget it, we're going to do it. And if it works, then great, you know, and if it doesn't, then at least I know I tried. And of course, it's going better than it ever has at this point. So
Right.
that's just how God works, I guess.
So I will say, with you having children, how do you balance it too? Because, you know, I have a son, and I know in this business it's very difficult. It's a lot of late nights. You're always grinding. You might not be in, you know, be in town,
Yes.
and it's you have two. So how do you balance the two, your career and your children?
A few things. I mean, I have a really strong support system. You know, they spend, you know, a good amount of time with their dad as well. He's a great dad, so
Awesome.
that works. But also, I mean, they just my ride or dies. Like, they're with me. It's not uncommon for me to be at the studio and them to be with me. And the good thing is, like, God gave me the right children. And I know that sounds crazy,
I like,
but
no, that makes a lot of
He absolutely
sense.
gave me the right one. My son, I mean, he can actually sing. My daughter is like a diva to no end. They actually enjoy seeing me do it, and so, you know, for them it's the norm. They know nothing else.
Right.
However, I balance it by, you know, I'm still like going to the PTA meetings, and like when it's their time, like my daughter does dance and my son does karate, and so when it's their time to do what they do, then all the other stuff I cut off. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be at the recital like pushing, hey, buy my album. It's like, no, this is her time to be. So it's like, it's a weird dynamic. It's organized chaos, because I'm super organized, but I also have chaos always happening. You know what I mean? I have a crazy calendar that's color coded, and sometimes I have to run. Like today, you know, my daughter needed a leotard, so I was late to a studio session, but she needed it, you know, so it's important. So I ran and did it, but that means I have to make up for it somewhere else. So it's not easy. I will never say it's easy, but it works. So my kids, they love seeing me in action. They are my toughest critics. My daughter's like, I don't know if I like those shoes. And my son is like, I don't think I like this song. So they tell me. So they're my A&Rs for sure.
One thing that I really admire about you is that you're not just an artist to me. You are a performer. And, you know, it's very difficult to do both, because you normally have people that sing amazing and they don't dance. Or you have people that are great dancers and maybe they look cute and so they get by in the music industry. But you have mastered your craft so well that you're able to do a lot. Like, how is it being a performer? Because first of all, you're doing these shows. You got this infamous kick that that is just totally, I can imagine that is just totally awesome. So how is it, like, you know, practicing constantly and staying in shape, and, you know, walk me through that.
Yeah, it's a challenge. So first of all, thank you. I still look at my performances and I'm always critiquing things like, oh no, this didn't happen, or we need to do this. So for sure, you know, I appreciate that. I think that every artist has their thing. So, right, if you're an artist, you know, it comes with a lot of things. You have to be, you know, you have to do photos and business and perform and the right music and the right clothes and all of that. I'm so grateful that I have a team that handles a lot of that stuff. Like, I mean, I like shoes and I like little cute stuff, but like to put something together real quick, that's not my thing. I have a great stylist that does that, or somebody else who does makeup. Like, I can't do all those things. But the one thing I can do is, once I step on the stage, like, that's where I live. So you're saying it because that's the one thing that I know that I can do well, and all the other stuff that comes with it, I'm just lucky to have people around me that can help me. Even the music production, you know, I know what I want to hear, and I listen to music. I study the business, but I study performers. So I intentionally study, and it's not always just the dancing, right? Like Jill Scott to me is an amazing performer, and she does no dancing, but she owns the stage. That's really the biggest part. You own it. So for me, I just knew that was my lane. So if anybody said anything else, they're like, oh, she's too short, she's this. If they had any critiques, one thing that I knew they wouldn't be able to say is that when I perform, I give 100%. And sometimes I don't even remember what I do, what I say. I just know I'm in the moment, and that adrenaline and all that is there,
So how was it finding a team? Because I know that's very difficult. You know, it'd be rocking for a minute, and all of a sudden, you know, everybody has a different vision for you. And so it's really important in this industry to know yourself. Because if you don't, people will be pulling at you by each arm.
Yeah.
So you finding your team, was that something that, you know, you always had, or it's a little bit of trial and error?
Definitely a lot of trial and error. I think one of the things that I learned is that, you know, in terms of being a team, like, I'm the core of this.
Mm-hmm.
So for the producer, the songwriter, the manager, the makeup artist, the assistant, the style, you know, they can't, you know, my makeup artist is not going to get up on stage and perform,
right.
but she's going to make me look good to be able to do that. So as the core of all of this, it's my job to understand everyone's strengths, play up to the strengths, and at the core, present myself in a way that highlights everybody around me. So it's a mutual thing. That's why they'll say, like, I'm going to just do her this favor of not charging her an arm and a leg. I'm just charging her an arm, but not the leg. But that is because they know that I work hard, and this is a collective effort. This is not just about me. You know,
Absolutely.
I couldn't do all of these things. But in finding the team, I mean, I've had people with me that had to go. I've had people who we ended amicably, more amicably than anything. Sometimes not so much. I think that there are just seasons, but I think that, like you said, I've always been keen on making sure that I know myself. So as much as I rely on my team and I need them, I also have to know enough to be able to do a little bit of something, you know? And I never let anything just go. I always kind of have a vision for what I want for certain things, and then I release it to them. So I may say, you know, for that Christmas, you know, single, I want 3 songs, and I want one to sound like this, one to sound like this, and one to sound like this, and then I release it, and then I take my hands off of it, and they go and do what they do well.
Less stress off of you.
It's less stress, but it's more so giving the vision, but giving them the room to do their thing. If I tell my stylist, like, hey, you know, this is this, and I need 3 looks, I want an urban look, I want this, and I saw these shoes that I really like, she will take that and then go and do what she does. I'm not bothering her, like, so you at the mall, you know, like, that's her thing. And then they come back, and usually when you give people the freedom to do what they need to do, but still kind of give them, like, this is the vision, it usually works. And people would be willing to work with you when you do it that way.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I'm super blessed. Like, I really, really, honestly, you know, I try to tell them more as much as I can, but I really, really am blessed to have the team that I have, because they work tirelessly. They know I'm crazy. I'm wanting to do 55 things at once, and they probably curse me out behind the scenes, but they still show up. And so, you know, I know that I'm a lot to work with, but I know that at the core of this, they really believe in me, and that's really what it comes down to. They believe in me, and I believe in them, and I understand that as a collective, we will elevate and continue to grow. So
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
What can we be looking forward to in the near future from you?
So finally, we will release the video, the visual for the highly anticipated song Dope Gold. That was one of the favorites on my album. So I'm excited because it's simple but very interesting. So
give us a little snippet.
Well, you know, we'll just say that we went very creative in terms of the video, and I definitely just went completely, I don't know if I can say this, but like balls to the wall. That's what we call it. Sure. You can follow me at Patrice_live on Instagram. You can also visit patricelive.com for show dates and upcoming events that I have, and that's it.
Yes. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. This is your girl, Jazzy Mango, and welcome to the Jazzy Mango Red Carpet Lounge. You can also follow me on the Silk White YouTube channel on Love Hurts. I'm your girl, Tiffany, and keep tuning in.
I believe I'm the best at this. You're a lady. My love is yours all of the time. You need a break, that ain't a crime. Won't you come on in and sit on down? Let me give you what you need now.
I can give you what you need, boy.
Whatever you need.